Well, I guess I'm going to have to start from the top here, folks. I just did a whole 30-minute video, and it didn't record it on the live stream, and it definitely didn't record it to my iPad. So bear with me if my voice is a little groggly, because I've been drinking water trying to re-wet my whistle here. Anyways, it is 5:37 p.m. on Thursday, January 22nd, and welcome into another one of my live stream, folks. We're here to talk about the burning subject of the day, actually burning subject of the last couple of days, is this Goliath snowstorm that we have coming into Ohio this weekend. It's going to be one of the biggest snowstorms that we have had here in probably at least a decade or two. More than likely 20 years. It's just about 20 years. The snow amounts that I'm seeing are comparable to the ones that we had from the blizzard of 2008. And we'll dive more into that as we go along here. Now, I'm doing this all off script, so it's definitely not anything like what I did before. that much is for certain. So we're going to dive right into this, folks, because we got some updated weather models that I know everybody's kind of dying to see and exactly, get a little bit better idea about what we got coming. So I want to go ahead and show the GFS, which has been the outlier out of all of them so far. We're going to get going here. And there's this first bit of energy that is going to be leading up from the heavy stuff that's going to take place here on Sunday. Anyways, this is Saturday about this time. And as you can see, we're really not snowing quite yet. This first bit of energy on the GFS really hasn't gotten its act together until it gets more over here where the phasing is going to happen. You've heard me talk about that before in the last snowstorm that we had. When that we get our big snows when phasing happens. And you know what? I'm going to back this out. It's better to look at it from the national view instead of the regional view in this regard. That way you guys have a better idea about where it is coming from. As you can see here, our energy has finally came ashore by this time tomorrow, on Friday, coming across the Rockies. And once it gets past the Rockies, that's when it really gets its act together and starts drawing a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. Or Gulf of Mexico, there I go again. I'm going to have to put that on a sticker right up here where I can see it. It is Gulf of America. Gulf of America. We're getting all of this moisture out of the Gulf, getting pushed into this low pressure that is just forming once it passed the Rocky Mountains. And as you can see, it's really getting its act together. This pink purple that you see here, that is a lot of ice. This salmon color, that is freezing rain. And the blue is snow, and then down here is just plain old rain. All them folks down there on the beach going to get wet. So we're moving along here. The GFS likes to keep this first bit of energy really south. Southern Ohio along the Ohio River might pick up an inch or two on this particular model. As it goes by, though, that's when it's going to grab this other energy that is followed behind it. It's going to get pulled along with it. And as this low pressure gets pulled along with it, it's going to start drawing all this moisture off of the Gulf of America at the same time as this one's going past the Appalachian Mountains and starts drawing moisture from the Atlantic Ocean. So, and then as you can see, once it moves by here, this is what the output of that is. Right as they phase together, boom, now you're having two moisture sources, one down here in the Gulf of America and another one from the Atlantic Ocean, all phasing together right on top of us here in Ohio on the eastern side of the country. But look at this mess that we've got going on here on, let's see, that is 12Z Sunday morning. That's on Sunday morning, about midday Sunday. All this pink, again, that's ice. That's a mix. This salmon color, that is freezing rain. It's all staying to the south on the GFS model. Again, now this model in particular has been the outlier. We move along here. That stuff likes to stay down here across southern Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia. The Carolinas are just in for it, man. I hate to see the damage that is going to transpire if this model turns out to be correct. That is a lot of icing, folks, and we know what ice can do. This warm nudge on the GFS doesn't make it as far north as what the North America model does. But as you can see, by this time Sunday evening, we're still snowing pretty good. And all this moisture is being fed up through here in Ohio from the Gulf of America. And as you can see, once this phasing gets complete and the low pressure gets absorbed into this trough axis that's coming across the country, that's when the storm starts to wrap itself out of here and moves itself on off the northeast coast like we talked about the other day. New York City, all these places over here are looking for one hell of a nor'easter. Just like we're looking for one hell of a snowstorm here in Ohio. So, the GFS gets itself on out of here. Let's go look at the North America model because there is one on here that I would like to show you guys. We're going to get into a little bit about soundings and skew-T graphs. Just because I think it's something interesting for everybody to see. This particular model, what you're going to see here as we go along, it's going to pretty much do the same thing what the GFS did, except there's one caveat to that. We have this one particular energy off separate from itself where the phasing hasn't happened yet. We get into about 8 o'clock on Saturday night. It is snowing here in Ohio, but there's one thing that I want to show you guys on the onset of that it has a lot of the local meteorologists a little concerned that there might be some either sleet, definitely sleet, that gets mixed in here. But I want to put some of those theories to bed. So let's move in here to when this snow is looking like it's going to start. Now, this graph that I am pulling up is called a skew-T graph. And what this shows is it shows the different levels of the atmosphere in the temperatures, moisture content. A lot of this stuff over here we use for predicting severe weather in the spring and summer. How we can tell if there might be a tornado in a particular area. We see all that. The one thing that I want to point out here is this right here. So, on the left-hand side of this model, this is all what we got here. I think I'm a little behind there. Yeah, we are. We're good. I had to make sure that we were still good. So as you can see, we have quite a big gap here. So on the left-hand side here, this is the distance from the ground. So 0 kilometers, it's just right air ground level. 1 kilometer, 3 kilometers, 6 kilometers above our head, 9 kilometers, going all the way up to, 12 kilometers. We're going all the way up to the upper reaches of the atmosphere. Now, this red line that you see here, which should be, it should also be red, but this yellow-red line that you see right here, that is air temperature. The green line that you see here, that is dew point. That is the moisture content that we're working with. So on the onset, that's why I was concerned that because we have dry air down here in the lower reaches of the atmosphere at the onset of precipitation, as this stuff falls out of the upper atmosphere as snow, it's going to get down here close and then evaporate because it's dry air. There's nothing to keep it in snow form and keep it from evaporating before it reaches the ground. One thing that I want to point out, the reason why a lot of people are saying that there is the potential that we could see some sleet mixed in at times, especially along the Ohio River. Just like where we're seeing here, where this particular skew-T graph at the time is from. Right here is 0 degrees Celsius, or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. We all know that anything below 32 is frozen. Anything above it is water. It's a liquid. And as it falls through the atmosphere and the temperatures start to rise, if that number gets above 32 or 0 degrees Celsius enough, then that snow gets a chance to melt, and then as it gets back down here in the lower reaches of the atmosphere and heads toward the ground, it's going to have more than ample enough time to refreeze. And instead of it falling as snow, it'll fall as sleet. Now, sleet can dramatically reduce the amount of snow that falls. And it can absolutely wreak havoc on a model that's trying to gauge how much snow we're going to have fall. And that's why I don't think that the idea that we're going to have sleet is going to be accurate. It's going to be cold enough, as you can see at that particular time when the precipitation shield makes it to Ohio, it's 11 degrees. That means that we're going to have a very, very fluffy snow. because as you can see, it's cold. It doesn't have a chance to retain its moisture. So this number is like right at 0 degrees Celsius. I don't see it getting further enough, warmer enough to where we'll see any kind of sleet fall. Now, the North American model does show that there is a possibility that this could happen, especially along the Ohio River as we get going here. So there's precipitation start. And then eventually we're finally going to get through. But this particular model on the first batch of energy really keeps it all at snow. Now, as the phasing happens on this model and the other low pressure center starts to make its way up from the Gulf of America, you can see this next bundle of energy moisture gets shot up here into Ohio. Look here down here in Portsmouth. We're right on the edge of what would be mixed precipitation, and obviously the freezing rain's a little further south. And as you can see, it really tries to warm us up as we go through the night and through the day on Sunday. I think that this is an outlier. We have a lot of Arctic air that is already in place. I am thinking that we are going to be 100% snow here in Ohio. Now, down on the Ohio River, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we don't see some sleet mixed in, but I also think that we're going to stay well enough south that it's going to all fall as snow. I wanted to show you guys this. That way you're prepared. And don't be surprised if any more adjustments are made and that rain snow line does make its way further up into Ohio. And as you can see, this separate low pressure comes along through, and there's a huge dry slot in here that would really reduce the amount of snow that we get here in Ohio at that time, but it then pushes the opportunity to get more snow into the more northern states and the Great Lakes. Now, the last model I want to show you is the European model. King European model, which is what we have all been talking about and heard about here these last couple days, and about how great it's been so far this winter. It has been a good model to use, and it's been fairly accurate, which gives it a head up on everybody else. All right, so we get through here. One thing I want to notice here, let's go back out to the national view. Because the phasing happens on this particular model a lot faster, and it comes norther. Is that even a word? Norther? Comes more north. How about that? We want to sound professional here. So, about this time Saturday night, we got the onset of snow. It's the same thing that we're looking at as what we discussed here on the SKU-T graph. If you look at this one right here, that's a big gap. There's a lot of dry air right here in this part of the atmosphere. You can see that we got this temperature inversion right here, and we really get, minus 16 degrees. That's the dew point, by the way. That's extremely dry. And as you can see, once that number comes back up here, this is where all that precipitation is at. But there is a lot of moisture up in the upper parts of the atmosphere that's just getting injected up here into the Great Lakes and upper Ohio Valley. Same thing like we talked about. But this one is more laid back. It is more definite. It is definitely all snow. There is no denying it. This particular model for here in Ohio is showing all snow. Don't mind that. That is not our storm. I promise you. That's for another discussion later. It might warm up. Anyways, so we go through here. First energy of low pressure goes through on this side of the Appalachian Mountains. It starts to draw moisture from the Atlantic. As the phasing happens, moisture is getting pumped up here by this low pressure down here in the Gulf of America. Then we get this huge shield of moisture that is combined and phased together that is going to give us really the storm of the decade. I am not scared to say that anymore. The models are definitely showing consistency and backing that up. And as we move through here, same thing. This low pressure is going to ride the spine of the Appalachian Mountains, and right on the other side of that, right here's that rain snow line. That is where the heaviest axis of snow is going to be. And then let's see here. This one has the snow getting out of here just about midnight on Monday morning. Maybe 1 a.m. is when that storm's going to be out of here. Snow's going to be out of here but the effects are definitely going to be felt long after this storm goes through. Let's go ahead and look at the snow potential snow models here and see how much snow that we could have potentially fall. And then here, let's go into the local product. Keep in mind on your times here. I mean, just look at that, folks. This is at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. This is the European model. 16 inches of snow in Columbus, 17 in Portsmouth, 17 in Cincinnati, 15 in Troy and Dayton, 16 in Newark, 15 in Delaware, a foot in Lima, almost a foot in Toledo. Folks, this particular model is also taken into account the snow liquid ratios. As I was saying, it is going to be cold enough that these snow liquid ratios could be 15 inches of snow to 1 inch of rain, or 20 inches of snow to 1 inch of rain. Our snow liquid ratios are going to be very high because of the Arctic air that is getting dragged down along with this storm as it comes by, leading to the potential for these numbers. It could still go up. Anything is possible at this point if more moisture is transported from the Gulf of America and the Atlantic over here into Ohio. I don't think that I think this might be an inch or two overdone, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. One other model that I want to show you guys here is the National Weather Service blend of models. And what the National Weather Service blend of models does is it takes all of the major models, all of the modeling that meteorologists use, and I mean there's a lot of them, more than just the 3 operational models that we normally show. It takes all of them numerically, puts them together, and then averages them all out, so then we can just take all of those models and then get a medium number. And let's go ahead and show you guys what that number is. This is at Monday at 1 p.m. I mean, we're still 13, a foot in Columbus, almost a foot in Portsmouth. Not as much up north, just because the shield doesn't, in this particular model, most of them aren't agreeing that the heaviest of the snow is going to make it up this far. It is a possibility, especially for those up in Toledo. But I think that this is a good medium number. I definitely foresee we will reach 1 foot of snow here in central Ohio. I think that is not a bogus claim. Probably not one that any professional meteorologist is going to say, just because people will come back and say, well, you said there's going to be a foot. I'm not a professional, so you don't have to trust me if you don't want to. I appreciate it that you guys trust me, but you don't have to trust me based off of what I'm telling you. But I do have a lot of experience doing this. Normally, these numbers are not wrong. A lot of times, they usually get undershot. So, I definitely think that pretty much from US 36 south, you can almost bet that we're going to see a foot of snow. Could we get more? Absolutely. Matter of fact, my range, once you get south of that, I am saying 12 to 15 inches of snow. Plus, because depending on how much moisture that we get shoved up here from the Gulf of America, those numbers could get blown out of the water. Now, the most snow that I have ever remembered here at one point in time in central Ohio was 22 inches from the blizzard of 2008. And I don't think we'll get that much, but storms can overachieve. So, let's go look at one more. I want to look at the GFS. Let's look at the GFS. This is the model that was showing that the snow was really trying to keep itself south. This is Monday at 1 p.m. And as you can see, the total snowfall 10 to 1. We want the Kashira model. Okay. 7 a.m. on Tuesday. No other snow is going to fall after that point. So you can see, I mean, look at this number down here, man. That is just wild. 18.5 inches of snow in Portsmouth, 19 in Parkersburg, look to 20 in the mountains. But they're going to get more sleet and stuff down here, so that one's not as believable. However, this number is not out of the realm of possibility, no more than this one is or that one is. And I'm not saying that as a cop-out. It's just I have never seen such a wide swath of such heavy snow and a lot of it. And that's why I don't think that we can take this thing for granted. It's definitely something that if you haven't prepared for already, I definitely think grocery shopping should be done relatively soon. Make sure that you got yourself enough food to last you for a few days, because once this stuff starts falling, I really don't think that most of Ohio is going to be going anywhere for some time. 12 inches of snow is a lot, and what's going to hinder the cleanup operations is it's going to get cold behind this storm. We're talking times where it's not going to get out of single digits. Below zero for lows. If it gets clear, we have this kind of snowpack, it is definitely not out of the realm of possibility for it to get well below zero. Some models depicted that we could even see double digits below zero. Again, with the snowpack and clear skies, it can happen, especially in this kind of polar air. But for snow removal, that's going to make it a pain because salt will not work. We might be driving on snow and ice covered roads for a few days here in southern Ohio, or in central Ohio and southern Ohio. I won't be. Well, I may be. I'll be up in northern Michigan with some buddies ice fishing for a week. And we're not going to escape this either. There's definitely going to be some snow up there. They've had lake effect snow there all week. It's done nothing but snow all week from what I was told up there in Bay City, Michigan. So we'll see when we get there. But anyway, for things down here in Ohio, I still think, again, US 36 south, plan on a foot. I am confident to say that 1 foot of snow or higher, 12 to 15 inches is what I'm predicting, and area wide for anybody that listens to me on my Facebook page. It's area wide through this area right here. 12 to 15 inches is a good bet. And I want to tag a plus to that just because we don't know what's going to get dragged up here from the Gulf of America and then from the Atlantic with this phasing when it happens. So we'll see. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section on Facebook. Please give me a follow here on Twitch. This is where I'm going to be putting all of my videos from now on. It's easier for me to go live and do this instead of trying to cut and then upload them to Facebook and YouTube. It just takes forever. So we go live here. It's already uploaded. Don't need to do anything else to it. I can get right to it and get some information to you guys and kind of explain from a rookie's point of view and a hobbyist point of view about what I see. Again, by no means am I a professional. I want to reiterate that. Always trust the National Weather Service. I may disagree with a lot of the things that they do, but always trust the National Weather Service when they issue warnings. However, I definitely appreciate everybody's faith in me when big snowstorms like this happen or severe weather events happen. I really have a lot of fun doing this, and I feel like I'm getting better at it, especially doing the live stuff. I'm trying to cut back on my ums and a lot, so we'll see how much I get to. And so, that's another one that I have to cut back on. So, anyways, I hope you guys learned something. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I can take screenshots of these and put them in the comments section, and we can go from there. But again, I definitely thinking that we're 12, 15 inches is not out of the realm of possibility, and we're going to get through this. I can't wait to see all the pictures and the video coming from back here in Ohio when I'm jigging for some walleye. So, okay, everybody. Tomorrow I may be back. I'm kind of starting my vacation now. I might come back with a live video if things look drastically different. If not, I will be doing a post on Facebook to keep updated. And then if there's something significant that needs to be shown, I'll definitely go live, do a video, and explain it from my eyes and go from there. So again, ask questions away. I'll do my best to answer them. And, well, that's all for now, everybody. Have a good night and stay warm.